with two big stories involving a guy named Elon Musk. The first on artificial intelligence and his startup XAI. The Wall Street Journal reporting investors close to Musk are in talks to help the company raise $3 billion. That would give the valuation of $18 billion, and the company was only launched in July of last year. Here's a bigger story. Elon Musk sharing himself on X that Tesla will unveil its long-awaited robotaxi on August 8th. The news sending shares of Tesla up after hours. Phil LeBeau joining us on the phone on this breaking story. Phil.
You know, Brian, when you look at this, this is one of those that's going to have more speculation than anything, because you didn't get much from Elon Musk today except for one post on X late this afternoon. It said robotaxi unveil on August 8th. All right, so what does that mean? Well, a lot of questions here. First of all, what are we talking about in terms of entry into service? Where will the location of the robotaxi be? Certainly not going to be widespread. It'll probably be in one specific area, maybe a geo-fenced area. What's the level of autonomy? Remember, full self-driving is not full self-driving. It's nowhere close to it. And has the technology involved to the point where it could be? And where's the vehicle going to be manufactured? So as you look at this all sets up the question that will come when Tesla reports its Q1 results on April 23rd. A lot of questions will be about the robotaxi because, Brian, at the end of the day, on paper, the robotaxi or any autonomous taxi service makes complete sense. You strip out the driver, you lower the cost, fantastic. Here's the problem. We are nowhere close to having the level of autonomy widespread where this can take off. Now, has he cracked the code? We'll find out in the months to come.
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patreon. If you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Now we have Elon Musk leading the way for the fourth industrial revolution. Announced August 8th, robo-taxis are here. And also, he's bringing AI. And don't forget, they have one of the most advanced GPS systems. Don't forget, guys, GPS comes from the military. Believe me, we don't use the military's GPS. And then he has Neuralink, Starlinks, the batteries. And this is the reason why Kathy Wood promotes Tesla. And then we have Ray Dalio. You know I say it, and then they bring it. Study history so you notice patterns. Why is that, guys? Because the playbook works every time. Why change it? And we have the U.S. debt, even though an illusion, the sheep believes it. So therefore, we know the drums is about to get louder in order to create that crisis. We know anytime the United States says they're so-called broke, even though they're just printing money off a printing press, now we're about to lose that world reserve currency. So geopolitical events already are getting out of hand, and there's more to come. And then we have Scaramucci on Gary Gensler. Said he made a good decision on waiting for the spot ETF. Guys, remember, it was all part of a plan. Only thing you're doing is watching a simulation, especially when it comes to crypto. Remember, crypto is going to be used as the excuse to take down these small and medium-sized banks. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And then we have some hilarious news. We have Janet Yellen tells China, stop flooding the market with cheap goods. But guys, we know why they're doing that, because we're about to go through hyper deflation. Because fiat is dying, everybody's going to be on a level playing field with tokenization and real-time settlement. Remember, the NWO calls the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. The United States and a whole lot of other countries are in a recession. Some are in a Great Depression. I prove the United States is in a Great Depression. But they have the solution. The robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, while the sheep go inside the metaverse, get that free money downloaded to their wallets. But little do they know that money is programmable, telling you what, where, and when and how to buy. And you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
A pivotal year on the brink, 2024. Take us through your analysis there.
There were many things that surprised me in my life that wouldn't have surprised me if I had studied the history, because they didn't happen in my lifetime, but they happened many times before. So I created a need, really, to when certain things are coming along that I'm not used to seeing, to then go back. And there are 5 things that are now the big forces that interact together. The way those 5 forces interact with each other through history has a pattern to it, and you know those interactions. So when we look at that pattern of what's now happening, and we could look ahead with that in mind, we can see that 2024 is we are on the brink of a number of things related to that. I can list those things, but we're on the brink, and it becomes also somewhat of a definitive year because of we're going to find out how we are with each other politically, and we're going to find out geopolitically a lot. Constraints to debt. No, you can't get deeper and deeper and deeper in debt and spend without consequences, because when you borrow, you have to pay back. And then the question is, do you pay back in hard money or do you pay back in printed, cheaper money? So what you see are these 2 factors. First is the debt service squeezing expenditures, because as debt rises and interest rates rise, debt service as a percentage of your spending rises, and that squeezes out other types of spending. So that's a mechanical thing, and it works that way. And we can see it happening as we project over the next 5 and 10 years. It becomes more and more apparent. I won't get into all that, but the second is that as that becomes more apparent, then you have a situation where holders of the debt may not want to hold the debt, because one man's debts are another man's assets. And so if they are holding debt assets that either they feel cannot be well paid back or will be monetized, you don't want to hold that.
Here's something that people don't like me saying, I'm just going to share it with you. I think Gary Gensler did the whole industry a favor. He had the Bitcoin futures ETF approved in November of 2021. If you just follow the administrative law, he should have approved the spot ETF shortly thereafter. He didn't do that. Okay, and so he got sued for something that's called arbitrary and capricious administration of the law. But the 1+ year delay in the spot ETF exposed over-leverage in the system, exposed fraud in the system. And so I do think he deserves credit for that. Whatever my issues are with Gensler and the SEC as it relates to crypto overall, this is a sturdier 67,000 than the prior 68, 69,000 in November of 2021.
China's implementation of market reforms generated one of the most significant economic success stories of our lifetimes, lifting hundreds of millions of people from poverty. There's potential for significant gains from reform now as well. And this includes the issue of China's industrial overcapacity, which the United States and other countries are concerned can cause global spillovers.
Definitely kills the argument that a recession is coming. There is absolutely no indication of a recession. Instead, what we can expect is what we've had, which is solid, stable growth in the job market, solid, stable growth in the economy as a whole, steadily rising wages, which are going to outstrip inflation. So workers are going to be better off, have more money in their pockets to buy things for their families. It's a very strong economy continuing to do well. That's the message of today's
unemployment
report.
rate below 4% for 27 consecutive months. First time that has been the case in decades since I was a pup.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leverage to technology, and I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.